Scarlet was trying to come up with names, and so I was just throwing loads of like funny ones at her, like, oh, just friends. And Gal Pals kind of just stuck.
We did the first one at Dawson Superstore in London. The initial like idea for Gal Pals came when I was the welfare officer at UAL Students' Union, and we were like planning freshers, and I really wanted to do a freshers event that was like something that I personally would go to. We pretty much do everything just the two of us, so people often think there's like more people involved. But no, it's pretty much just us two.
When we did the first Gap House in London, I was like immediately, okay, this is really cool. We need to do one in Brighton, because there was like not enough of the similar kind of thing happening, just like an unapologetic pop party. As I like DJ generally as well, I knew a lot of venue owners and things, and just thought like, let's try and get something together and just test it out and see how it goes. And the formula works. Like, it was even more successful, I thought, as soon as we like first did it in Brighton. There's this perception that it's, you know, this LGBT capital of Europe, some people say. I think actually a lot of the other letters get tossed by the wayside a lot of the time. Primarily, like, a lot of the spaces that are like for LGBT people are really centering gay men. So Gal Pals is a really good way of remedying that. Alongside a lot of the other queer nights that are running in the city, it's just really important to create as much space as possible for people to feel comfortable, because not everyone feels great in those bars and clubs. We explicitly use the word queer in our descriptions, on our posters, because that's what it is. Like, we're trying to emphasise that point.
Queer dance party is like one of the terms that we use to describe ourselves, I guess.
Because it just feels authentic. It's like coming from our identities and like our background. So Scarlet is obviously like, you know, queer femme, and that comes through in you know, the way that we like present, in our voice, in the way that we try to interact with our audience.
In like the stuff that I'll post on social media, and like the kind of look of it and the artwork and the branding, I guess. So this is the first ever Gal Pals poster, and it's very like handmade, very like DIY, and my friend Summer, who was another officer with me at the Students' Union, made it basically. And Summer designed our very lovely logo. She started drawing some like cute girls for it, and then realised that it just looked like us, so decided to keep it that way.
With Gal Pals and like the local scene and adding to queer culture in Brighton specifically, and London, a lot of young people now can find a lot of communities online that affirm their identities, be it through like Instagram, Tumblr. There's so many different places where you can feel affirmed and feel like you're seen and feel visible, but not many places extend into IRL space. And I feel like Gal Pals occupies somewhere that does that really well, provides like a space for people to feel like they're seeing the people that they're talking to online, and they can party with them, and it's a really like great like place to be because of that. I actually feel like most of it is word of mouth, so it's not even like online so much. It's just people coming with their friends and then being like to the other friends who couldn't make it, you have to come next time, and then just it's built and snowballed from there. So
we don't generally have like acts. We've only had acts like twice. Like once when we did a Gal Pals at Glastonbury Festival, and that was like quite different, obviously, because it was at Glastonbury. And then once when we did our like Pride, like because it was like Brighton Pride, and we wanted to do something really big, so we had a band, and we had like 2 performers for that. But generally we just want it to be like a club night. Like there's not enough like club nights anymore.
We want to create a party for party's sake, and that's it. Like sometimes you just want a space to just go and dance and just forget about literally everything else, and not be reminded like I have to have an intermission now, like, or like you just want to party, like. And that's something that feeds into the music policy of past 12 o'clock. Pretty much it's just bangers o'clock, like. So we just play like just really like hard-hitting big tunes that keep people on the dance floor, because it's fun. You just want to hear all of the good stuff like at that time. So the music policy at Gal Pals is like it needs to involve women in the front basically of the music. It's women-centered music, it's women-led, so it's always going to be about women and about like, you know, just feminine energy and things. So I feel like that's quite authentic. It comes through in like lots of different ways in the night.
We do work on the music together as well. The kind of initial Gal Pals playlist like we made together, and like we always send each other songs and stuff. So
the music videos for inspiration. So like if you come earlier, we try to like front load a lot of really like more interesting stuff that you might not everyone will know, but you might hear something new that will be really cool.
Yeah, more like PC music.
You'll definitely like play a lot of PC music.
There's a lot of pop, but like good pop.
Some bad pop.
Okay, some
bad pop. But there was something that Scarlett said to me about like pop music that really like just like struck true. Basically, people who play, like DJs who play pop music are kind of like denigrated or seen like, oh, you're not a serious DJ because you play this kind of music. And I feel like the people who are most successful and dominate pop are women, and so it's really important to be critical of like who's creating this music and how we're looking at it. So I just always feel like I just have to be really unabashed and proud and just be like, we should celebrate this music because it's popular for a reason.
We come up with like themes. Obviously this one tonight is like the Naughties party. We're doing, our next one is in July, and that's for like Brighton Trans Pride, and we're like, we'll raise money for them again. And we have like Queer Pride, which is like, we do it on the night of Brighton Pride because there was literally nothing queer happening on Pride. It's just like all just like super corporate, really shit.
It's really difficult to see, I think across the weekend, like 300,000 people descend on the city because it's the biggest Pride in Europe, and it's so hard to see your friends going through maybe more queerphobia during that weekend than they would experience for the whole year because these people have come just to party. And so you're searching for somewhere to be around other queer people on like the weekend where you should be the proudest, and we found nothing beyond 2 a.m. With policies, like I feel like our audience feels comfortable to come forward to us. If there's any harassment on the night, our kind of like line is, if anyone's making you uncomfortable, let someone, bar staff, the door, DJ, photographer, anyone like know, and we'll deal with it. And we have a really good relationship with the venue to like handle those sort of situations when it comes up. I feel like there is definitely like, it's really good to be clear about that so that your audience knows if something happens, then they know that they're not gonna feel uncomfortable or have to leave and just never go back to that night.
We haven't really had too much trouble because of like how the space is basically like self-policing in a way.
People actually have like said before they've seen like what they like about Outposts. They've come in and they see other people looking out for other people, and it's just really nice, even if you don't know anyone. They're just like, oh, maybe that person like needs some water or something, or like maybe like someone like something's not right, but they'll like, you don't feel alone in that moment, like someone will help you out.
Our policy is like no like groups of unaccompanied men, but other than that it's pretty much like anyone can come as long as you're like not a dickhead. Because
it's a comedy venue, it's not seen as a traditional like club space, and it's kind of off the beaten path, so it's not in the normal like track of nightclub, like the nightclub area in the town, so you have to kind of like know that Gal Pals is happening to come across it. So when you do, it's like a secret club that you've just like stumbled across, and you don't get the people like just walking in off the street. They have to know about it. You can find Gal Pals on
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's just Gal Pals Club. Yeah, that's like our app.